the Maharaja himself, Raj Dhesi, formerly Jinder Mahal. And sir, thank you so much for the time, and thanks for joining us this morning.
Yeah, anytime. Excited to talk to you guys and bust it open this morning.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, we've been talking about it all day long, all show. And Nick knows this better than anybody. Coming from the machine, betting on yourself, and then having that opportunity to do something outside of that bubble. You were with the WWE for a very long time. And now, what is life like been living and working outside that bubble?
Yeah, it was it was a long time with WWE. This last run was 8 years. Prior to that, I was there for 4 years, and then I had a 2-year break in between where I was working the independents. So now I'm excited to go back to the independents and pick my own schedule, be my own boss, do whatever I want to do, present myself however I want to be presented. I had a nice 90 days, relaxing, training, and tonight is my first booking. It's a secret.
Oh, baby.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
So you're not just in a nice fancy car. You're in an undisclosed location. In a
Undisclosed location. I kicked the driver out, actually. I said, you can't listen to this kayfabe interview. You got to get out. So I sat in his seat, but I have a driver. I was sitting back there.
I just assumed, yeah.
Yeah.
We assumed, yeah. A motorcade of sorts. I just assumed, yeah. Brother, so listen, I've said this before you came on. There was a group. It was you, formerly Dana Brooke, formerly Xylee, and it was like the three of you are not just the only three, but just three people that I constantly saw going above and beyond to do something. Whether you're busting your ass in the gym, on your Instagram, whether you're pitching ideas, doing different things, going above and beyond to give yourself the best possible situation for WWE. And then once that ends, you still see people hustling and making the thing. And like right now, you're in an undisclosed location, about to show up for the first time just after your 90 days ends. I love that. That's exciting. Do you feel that excitement that you did the last time you took, the 2 years off and hit the independents? Do you feel that same excitement? You're a former freaking world champion, brother. That's a huge deal.
Exactly. No, there's much more excitement this time around. As you mentioned, former WWE champion. And the last run, like, it was right after 3MB, and that was like the highlight of my career. So the bookings weren't exactly pouring in. But luckily, this time around, it's a different story. Getting a lot of interest, a lot of independent promotions wanting to book me. Schedule is getting full, which is amazing. These last 2 years, I wasn't that active in WWE. They weren't using me to wrestle, and they had pretty much almost in a way retired me, told me that I was just going to be a manager for Indus Share. So this is an opportunity for me to get back into the mix, and hopefully my body holds up. I'm still young. Today's actually my birthday, 38 years young.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
So I'm excited to get back into the mix, and and then see where we go from there.
So knowing that WWE didn't use you for the last couple of years as much as you would have liked, what is the thing that you will take from being a manager and also somebody that was a little bit, I want to call it controversial at times, but you were out there on Twitter, doing your thing. Like, what did you learn from all of that? And what are you applying now in your second run in the independents?
I just learned that you have to hustle for yourself. You have to push for yourself. You have to advocate for yourself, because no one is going to do it for you. In WWE, you can kind of get by. They'll use you when they want to use you. But now on the independents, I'm responsible for my success, my failures. Everything ultimately comes down to me.
The one thing we have to bring up is just before your release, you were trending. You were, Don't hinder Jinder and all those hashtags of your appearance. And, everybody was talking about you, and you've accomplished so much in your WWE career. But it's funny, right at the end of 2023, going into 2024, you probably had the most buzz about you in your career, where everybody was coming to your defense and they wanted to see you, and you had the championship match with Seth Rollins. Just talk about what happened, that appearance with The Rock, and just how everything happened and how it just completely blew up on social media.
Yeah. It wasn't planned at all. Rock was coming back, and he told me that they had given him a list of names to who he can maybe do a promo with, right? And he picked me. They wrote the promo. Brian Gewirtz wrote the promo. Went off awesome, but there wasn't any plans for me. And then the writer texted me. One of the writers texted me that week saying, "Hey, we're gonna pitch to Paul Triple H that you work Seth in Raw in 2 weeks." I said, okay, perfect. Because at this time I wasn't wrestling at all prior to this. I was just a manager. Luckily, I stayed in shape. I was within striking distance to wear a pair of trunks and get in there and wrestle in a championship match. So we did the match with Seth, and then we got a lot of buzz. Then after that, it was back to nothing. The Royal Rumble was actually 1 week after that, and I wasn't in the Royal Rumble, and that was like a huge red flag to me at that time, and it's kind of an indication that maybe I wasn't going to be used, because at that time that would have been the time to use me. I was actually pitching to go in at number 30. That would have been a great spot. But again, it's okay, it's all good. That's the thing with WWE. You get many opportunities, and sometimes you have missed opportunities. But all in all, it's all good. I had a great time there, and I have still very close friends that work there. I still support them. I watch the product. Yeah, it's amazing.
I misspoke earlier. I said world champion, and you correct me as WWE champion. Whatever. You know what I meant. It's a big deal. You're the freaking champ, man. It's awesome. But lead us up to that. That is something so few people ever even get a shot at becoming. Can you lead us up to coming up into that match, getting it, actually becoming champion? What that felt like to you? Was it like, I don't like what's going on and this will be okay? Or is there going to be a target on my back now? Or is it like, oh my gosh, here we go. This is the moment that you dream of as a kid, one day getting a chance like this?
Yeah. So again, the opportunity came out of nowhere. I believe Rusev was going to work with Randy, who was the champion at that time. I had just got drafted to SmackDown. Rusev got hurt with a shoulder injury. He needed surgery. I remember being at a live event in the trainer's room, and a 6-pack challenge match had just been announced for the number 1 contendership match. I think at that time I was thinking Luke Harper was going to be number 1 contender. Sami Zayn was in there, a few other guys, Mojo, maybe even Eric Rowan. And Randy actually came by to get ready for his match, and he told me, "Hey, you're going over. We're going to be working." I was like, "Oh, okay." And that was a big step up for me, because I was just like a lower mid card guy for several years, just putting over other guys. But prior to that, maybe about 6 months before that, a year prior to that, I had just completely dedicated my life towards getting in shape, working on my mindset, giving myself the confidence that I needed to reach the next level. And it was just timing. Everything worked out perfectly. The opportunity was there, and I was ready for it at that time. And just everything worked. And leading up to the match, Randy had told me that he believes it's a one-off. He's like, Rusev's going to come back, and I'm still going to work with Rusev. And something changed in the last week or the last few days that Vince decided to put the championship on me.
It's amazing. Hey, much more importantly, what's your best watch that you have?
Best watch, I have a Date 840 white gold President with a meteorite dial. Meteorite dial.
I know what half of those words meant. I know you have several watches, right? I've seen you many different times comparing some watches like that. You have a collection, correct?
Yeah, maybe I'm a watch
Corbin
collector.
And a couple of guys.
Yeah. It's not. I don't suggest it. It's not a good hobby. It's not very cost effective, but it's what we work for, right? That's what we take all these bumps for.
Damn right. The meteorite watch. I love that.
Yeah.
Talking about changing your mentality, because I think that's a topic that pretty much everyone that we interviewed today, we talked about. Like, where were you at the time where you felt the necessity of changing what you believe and how to achieve things?
Yeah. Basically, the catalyst for that was being released the first time around. And at that time, I was playing the victim. I was just blaming other people and not really reflecting on myself. I wasn't in great shape. I was partying. I wasn't really focused. I was phoning it in, trying to do the least amount possible, and just complaining like, "Oh, booking sucks. I'm in 3MB." You know. But what I should have done was just looked at that as an opportunity and brought the best version of myself to WWE and showed them that, hey, I'm deserving to be at a higher spot. You can trust me, because being a champion or being in a high position in WWE, as Nick, there's a lot of trust. The company has to trust you a lot. You represent the brand, you represent the company everywhere you go. And while I was away, I just completely stopped drinking, started dieting, started training, really just changed my whole lifestyle. Then I got hired back and just could continue that trajectory, got in an amazing shape, and just ultimately stopped playing the victim. Realized that it was myself that was holding myself back for all those years.
It's interesting what you're saying with three-man band, because also what you're saying kind of reflects the things that Drew McIntyre was saying at that time as well. So when you look back at three-man band, was that like a gimmick that just had no chance to succeed? Or do you look back on it now and say maybe there could have been a chance to make that work, if that's possible?
No, there could have been a chance if we were ready for that chance. We didn't go about it the best way. We genuinely thought we were real life rock stars and acted so. No, definitely. I think there was many missed opportunities. I really believe 3MB could have had a babyface run. But again, like to win a championship, to be tag team champions, the company had to trust us a lot, and we hadn't really earned that trust.
It's funny because I remember during that three-man band period, we had Mick Foley on the show, and I asked him about, is he still watching? Is he still paying attention? And his favorite thing in the WWE at that time was three-man band. Like, he was totally into it. His son was into it. So there were fans of it. And I just find it interesting because a lot of fans looked at it and it's like, you have so much talent there. Why are you using them in that way? But it's just an interesting answer from you, because I was just curious.
Yeah. Mick was a big fan. And I actually remember him telling me around Royal Rumble time that he was pitching for 3MB to go in as the Three Faces of Foley. This was around the time where we were dressing up. We were the fabulous Three Birds one night in Atlanta. We were the what's it called? We were some gimmick in England. The Union Jacks.
the New Jack band, or Union Jacks. Yeah.
Union Jacks, the Union Jacks. And Mick had actually told me that he pitched for 3MB to go in as Three Faces of Foley.
That
would have
awesome.
been cool. Yeah.
You said another thing, that you want to portray yourself the way you want to portray it. And I know a lot of the times, because we are from different, we have different backgrounds, right? Racial backgrounds. They categorize us at a certain type of way. Now, like, you have the freedom to do whatever you want. How are you going to portray yourself, and how important this is for you, probably in the future, if you want to get hired somewhere else?
Yeah, I want to just be myself. That's the most important thing, because myself is better than any character that I've ever portrayed. Like, I get a chance to go on these interviews and no one has really seen this side of me. I did the Chris Van Vliet interview podcast, and I got awesome response. People have never heard me just be a normal human being. Right. I'm just a normal guy, right? Just like a lot of the wrestlers that are in the locker room, and the best versions of superstars are just themselves. Like, all the great superstars are just really themselves. Even currently, Cody Rhodes, he's just being himself. Drew McIntyre, it's a version of himself. AJ Styles, Randy Orton, they're just themselves.
Jinder, like, how important was that last few months of your career in the WWE for you, now that you're on the independent scene once again, that the fans were siding with you, like that you had that opportunity where there were some people that were like, why is he in a championship match? Even some owners of companies going out and saying that. Like, how good was it for you that the fans kind of backed you up, had your back, and banded around you? Because I'm sure now, because of that, they want to see what your next step is.
Yeah, I was not expecting that at all. Yeah, the support was unbelievable. Yeah, and really the first time in my career, because generally the internet has not been too favorable, but everybody banded together. Everybody had my back. And just want to say thank you for all my fans, everybody who showed up, who showed some love. And it's going to continue now on the independents or wherever I go next. So yeah, that was really important just in terms of creating buzz, and the timing is perfect. We're about 6 months from that all happening, and now that I'm a free agent again, it's the momentum is just going to continue.
I think you and Dave touched on a great point. So I've done some things off to the side too. I think the fans, whether they're when you're there or in the middle of a story that they might not 100% agree with or might not like exactly what's happening, they're the first ones to be like, this sucks, you suck. But the second you go away, they almost have this family feeling from the fans that they have your back, and then they get to see the real you, like you said on the interview, and then they go, you know what? He was playing this character. I'm behind him. There's some beautiful part of that where there's like everyone's angry online, but they'll follow you to the end of the earth if you put in that effort. And it sounds like you always did training wise and being ready to go, but now making your way out where you say, hey, sometimes the internet's not too nice to you. But right now, when they go, hey, listen, this guy's going for it on his own. He's making his way, whether he was managing or whatever the hell he was doing earlier, he's ready to go, and we want to be there for him. I think that's a huge testament to the fans, but it is to you. How do you feed off of that from those fans going, we want to see you succeed, but also like, you better do it, Jack, or we're going to let you know,
Yeah, no, that's everything. I, at times in the past and even in recent history, have considered retiring, like moving on from the business, just doing something. And maybe Nick, you've had similar feelings, but
the hell's that supposed to mean? No, I'm just kidding.
There's just something about the business that it's hard to leave, and it's the fans. That's what it is. Yeah. It's the community, it's the fans, it's the locker room, it's the boys. Yeah, man, I would say that. I don't even know what the question was, but I would
but no, that's the answer. It's like no matter how much you're down at what the creative is or what you're doing, or you're like, hey, they're not going with me, I gotta get it. But the fans, and they'll be the first ones to tell you when they hate what you're in, but when you go for it and go off, like that is such a testament to them. I think because they like, you're in our family, and so we yell at our family in the house, and when they get out of here, we got their back in the street. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a very interesting perspective. I like that. That is true.
Knowing what you're knowing now and going through all the experiences that you have gone through, what would you done differently if you would have known everything when you started wrestling?
When I started wrestling, wow. I would have started working with an acting coach very early in my career, maybe even before WWE. Worked on my promos. I always avoided doing promos. And I've said this before in a few interviews. Right when I became #1 contender, right when I got back to Gorilla, I told Vince that every live event from now on, give me Mike, give me a promo. He called Road Dogg over, who was at that time the writer of live events, and he told him, he said, give him a promo every single night. Whereas before, early in my career, I didn't do a promo unless I had to. There's no way I was going to volunteer to do something like that. So acting coach, work on promos, just stay in shape and stay positive. I didn't really start working on my mindset or surrounding myself with positive people or a positive message until my second run. If I would have known that earlier, I probably, who knows, but I would like to think that I wouldn't have gotten released for those 2 years. And but actually that was probably the best thing that happened to me. So all in all, there's no regrets. Just those are a few things that I would have done differently. But it's never too late to start, right? That's the thing with the business. You constantly evolve, constantly get new ideas. Everything changes. The business is going to be completely different in 5 years and 10 years from now, with social media, and now WWE going on Netflix, and AEW and TNA is really, kicking things into high gear. So yeah, it's an exciting time to be in the business.
if you're listening and you're an independent wrestler or someone who, looking to
You
make
just stole the words out of my mouth.
Perfect. The points Raj just made here is just like, you got to be ready to go. You got to have the training in your back pocket. You got to be doing above and beyond, just waiting for that opportunity and hoping for it. Because there's so many people that come to me at a convention or something like, what do I do? And I look at them and I go, you got to be in shape. You got to be ready to go. If you said you're doing everything you can to possibly live this dream, that is dream job that it is, and you walk towards me and I can tell you're not doing everything you can, it's like, there's something out there. If you're listening, listen to this plan that you have, Raj, the way you're going above and beyond it. Like, of course, we all get angry and a little bit bitter, whatever. Once you get through that, you go, here's the positives of it, and you focus on it. And then everyone wants to root for you. And then you apply all that and you get out there. And now you're waiting in an undisclosed location to do some show up somewhere. And everyone's going to lose their mind over the guy who maybe in the back of your head when you're in 3B and losing, you're like, man, this sucks. We got nothing. Meanwhile, you're going to be the hot, cool surprise at a show tonight somewhere. And I think that's just a testament to what you're doing and that business behind you, and always being ready for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Just staying ready, staying positive, and really taking an honest inventory on the things that you are doing, and even more importantly, the things that you are not doing that you should be doing. I think that's really the biggest difference maker. I
know you were going to be a surprise today, right? And I know everybody knows you as your older character, but I'm curious as a wrestling fan to know, who is this new character? I know this is the real you, but who is you, bro? Who is you? Who are you? Like, what are your motives? What is your why?
That's something I myself have to figure out, because I've been portrayed in this way for so many years, and you kind of become that character in a way. So I got to break away from everything. I got to unlearn everything. And really, this independent run that I'm going to be on right now, it's more for me. I really got to find myself, what works, what doesn't, what I feel comfortable with doing, what brings me happiness, what brings me joy, what brings me satisfaction. I think that's the most important thing. Because for all these years, I've served others. I've done everything that was asked of me. Oftentimes things that you don't want to do, Nick, you know the deal. So now really, I just want to be selfish and do things for me, do things that bring me joy. Yeah. And if I don't want to do something, I won't do it. That's where I'm at in my career right now.
That's awesome. Your former home, with the WWE, and you've left and come back, and there's a whole new regime in place there now after such a long period of time. Is the door open for you at some point if you wanted to go back?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, on my end, yeah. If, again, creative. If they got something, great. But I don't want to go just to sit at home and get a text every week saying, "Hey, you're not needed for TV. Don't bother flying out," because that's the worst feeling. But yeah, definitely. I don't have any hard feelings, and I don't think that I really did anything to kind of blackball myself or anything. I was very respectful. I always did what was asked of me. I never caused problems, or I tried my best not to. Whatever was asked of me for my job that night, I did to the best of my ability of my entire career. And I think that's why I really had a long career with WWE. I was there from 2010 to 2024 with 2 years off, and that's a long career in WWE. Yeah. And the business will continue to change. New superstars will come. I took someone else's spot, someone else took my spot, and the cycle continues. But as much as the business has changed in these past 5 years, just with AEW popping up, then COVID, and just everything, I think we're going to look back at this time, this 5-year period, and it's going to be like one of the craziest periods in wrestling history, where the business evolved the most in the shortest amount of time.
That's true.
I agree, and we've talked about it all day today. It's extremely healthy. The WWE is doing some of its best business it's ever done, but the world of wrestling outside the WWE is extremely healthy right now, and there's so many different options. And I look forward to seeing what the next step is for you. Label Pro, Black Label Pro on July 26th in Chicago. And then wherever you're going to be tonight, we'll have to keep our eyes open to find out where you're going to be tonight. So thank you so much for the time, and appreciate it. And good luck with everything.
Yeah, thank you guys. We'll do this again sometime. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. 100%.
Good luck, brother.
Thank you.